J got them bees rocking. Presso Bay. Welcome to Straight Facts. I know you gon' feel it. All good vibes, so please save your opinions. See why I ain't here to judge, so don't be looking for a critic. Do this combos out of love and help to spread some recognition. We can talk about your favorite team and how they got you feeling. Overall growth and understanding is the mission. So just kick back and listen and analyze what's mentioned. You can even pull up next and share your thoughts. Come on, let's get it. Welcome to Straight Facts. Yeah. Welcome to Straight Facts, man. Hey.
Welcome to Straight Facts Podcast, episode 36, with former National Grudge Racer. I want to bring to the show my guy, Trigger Man. What's up, man?
What's up, man? What's going on, man? I appreciate you for inviting me over, man.
Yes, sir, bro. You know, I appreciate you taking your time out today, man, pulling up on me, man, because you got a lot going on this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So I appreciate you pulling up.
Yes, sir.
Man, let's get to it. All right. Tell me a little bit, man, about where you grew up at in the neighborhood you grew up from.
Well, I'm from Appleton, Georgia, a town called Kingsville.
Okay.
And we were all family in there. And if you wasn't from there and you came in there, we treated you like family.
So it's a family oriented, like a lot of our families back in the day, a lot of black households, it was a lot of family oriented, cousins, aunties and stuff like that. Did y'all gather up on grandma's house and stuff on Sundays?
Oh, yeah, man. Sundays we gathered up, we ate, cooked on the grill.
For sure.
We did everything, man. We did everything like a family. We played baseball,
Yep.
we drag raced.
Facts.
We did everything.
Yes,
you know what I
sir.
mean? We did everything as a family.
Facts. And that's the era I kind of grew up in, man. So I love, did y'all grow up in the church?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. You had to be.
That's a fact.
Mama had you in the church.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just like I was telling my cousin, man, last time, my mama used to come get us out of football practice and all that early just to go to vacational Bible study, Sunday school and stuff like that, man.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I definitely could relate to that. So, man, when did you first get into street racing?
Man, I got into drag racing when I was a little kid. Man, my dad, he always been drag racing. Willie Dog, you know, my dad used to hang with Willie Dog. They used to drag race on the street. And I used to always be up under my dad. I was a daddy's boy, man. My brother that was a mama. I was a daddy's boy. You know, I was always under my dad. Everywhere he went, he had to have me up. You know what I mean? He had to have me with him.
For sure. So besides racing, did you play any other sports coming up in school and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, man. I played basketball, played baseball. Like I said, man, our family was, you know what I mean? We was athletic.
For
you
sure.
know what I mean? Like I said, I played baseball and basketball in middle school, high school. And when I got in high school, you know, I got a little grown, but you know, I had my first kid as I was in high school.
For sure.
But,
So you was an early father at that time and stuff like that. So, okay, so you being young at that time, what was that mentality, you know what I'm saying, having your first child? Because I had mine as senior too. So what was your mentality at that time? Was it like, I got to get to it? Like was you able to go to college or anything like that?
No, I graduated. I got my diploma. I graduated and everything. I even actually took my son to school with me.
Wow.
You know, my home ec teacher, Miss Seymour, you know, she kept him, you know, while I was in school.
Wow.
You know? So
man, she was a blessing.
Oh yeah, she was a blessing, man. She just passed away probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
But she was one of the best teachers you can ever have, man. And like I said, Jaira, his name was Jaira, and it was just a blessing, man.
Wow.
And then it was different, you know.
Yeah,
it was
facts.
I was the only one in school with a child.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And see, and that's what I'm glad that you were able to tell that story, because I want to show kids that even if you start out bumping your head, you can always rebound and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So shout out to Miss, what's her name again? Miss Seymour.
Miss Seymour.
R.I.P. Miss Seymour. You say she just passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I like about teachers. They have a big impact in us, and we'll never forget them. So, who were some of the people that motivated you to start racing and stuff like that? Who inspired you?
Well, like I said, man, my daddy, he always, you know, drag race. He had a Nova, and you know, I was with him all the time, and you know, I just had that need for speed. I think when I was born, I just had that need for speed.
It was in your DNA.
It was in my DNA, you know. But
And it's good too, man, that you know what I'm saying, that you was able to be around your pops, see behind the scenes stuff, see the mechanics and all that, how they work the car. Because one thing I always learned is when you do a business, you got to know everything around it.
Right.
So you was able to learn everything from a youngster. You know what I'm saying? So by the time you were able to get older, you was able to know the ins and outs of it and drive it like you want to. So man, we're going to get into this No Medication, man. How did No Medication even get started?
man, No Medication started. Car Key Mims and Maurice Banks.
Okay.
I was on the phone with them, and they tell me I'm a hyper person. You know, every time they see me at the racetrack, I'm always hyper. So they called me and told me, as far as trying to get an event going, they called me and told me, Trigger, man, with your energy and with the people loving you, man, you should have your own event. So I second guessed it at first, and they stayed on me. And finally, they told me they was gonna help me, and they did. My first event was for No Medication was March the 10th. And that was 8 years ago.
Wow.
Man, that was March the 10th, but it rained out. I rescheduled it, it rained out. I rescheduled it again, and then it rained out. But March, it was going to be in Union, South Carolina. And in the process of it getting rained out, Union actually sold the racetrack.
Wow.
So I had to find another venue, and that's where I went to South Carolina Motorplex. It was actually called Orangeburg then, but the name been changed to South Carolina Motorplex, so that's where I've been since then.
Okay, because that segued to my next question. I was going to ask you what was the first track that you did it in.
Right.
That was South Carolina Motorplex Speedway. Wow, that's what's up, man. So shout out to them, man, and thank God that you was able to start with that, because the first 3 times that the other one rained out and you felt like it wasn't
I didn't quit though.
Yeah, facts.
No, I didn't quit, but like I say, Jimmy Bradshaw, he was he stuck with me he was there from day one.
Facts.
Tommy Cooper, those 2 guys there are my prep man,
For
and
sure.
they still here today.
For sure.
Crystal, she been there since day one as far as helping me manage things like that. My family they've been behind me since day one. So like I said, man, this year it's the 8th annual.
Facts.
So we've been going on for 8 years.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
And
yeah.
y'all been tunnel vision, head down. And I want to ask you, like, the TMR team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much do they mean to you, and how important is it to have a team like that around you to help you win these races?
Man, TMR, I want to appreciate Jay Malcolm. Jay Malcolm, he the one gave me the name TMR. He created the first logo for me,
Wow. What did TMR stand for?
Trigger Man Racing.
Wow, okay.
And as far as the team, man, like I said, man, to grow and to be successful, you always got to have a team behind you. Ain't no I in team.
Yes, sir.
And you always got to be on the same page. And, you know, like I said, man, you got to come together when it's time to travel and stuff like that. You know, you got to have a team behind
Facts.
you.
Even when stuff get hard, like, you got to have folks you can count on, man, and get through the blues or whatnot, because everything ain't easy.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't all peaches and cream. So that's why I wanted to do a podcast, so folks could learn the ins and outs of racing and stuff, and how hard it is to get these cars out there, man, and
Oh, yeah,
get this
but
racing stuff together.
One thing I like about my team, it ain't just about racing, though.
Yes, sir.
You know, like, we got a relationship outside of racing.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So, you know, it
ain't strictly business.
Yeah, that's right. It's like I said, man, we travel outside, you know, outside of racing, we travel, we
Yes,
do
sir.
things together.
Facts.
So,
Okay, and I also want to get into the No Medication. Where did that name come from, man? Because I like that name.
man, No Medication, man. Car Key, like I said, man, he always said I'm hyper, I'm crazy, I need to be on medicine, things like that, man. So Car Key, him and Maurice, they came up with that Trigger.
Yeah.
I got a name for you. So I was like, man, what you got? And they was like, man, No Medication. So No Medication kind of stuck.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
And that's hard too, because I never knew where that name come from, and it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So let's get into it, man, because you covered some of your pit, man, and because I wanted to talk about how important it is to have a pit crew, and you know what I'm saying, so we can give them the flowers of what they have to help you win your races and stuff like that. So I love how you covered the pit crew and your team like that. Okay, so which event out of the last 7 years stood out to you the more, man? Out of all them last 7 to 8 years, which one stood out more?
The event that stood out the most, man, was when COVID hit.
Mm.
Man, that event, man, it sold out. We had the fire marshal shut us down, so
Oh,
we
for
couldn't
real?
let no more people in the event, man.
Wow.
Man, so many people came from everywhere. I kind of hate that I went out there to the road, because people was like, man, Trigger, man, let me in. I drove 6 hours.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? But it was nothing I can do.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Everybody that was in there, you know, we couldn't let nobody else in. But I think that was 2020. I think that was the COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that was one of the events that I'd never forget. You know what I mean? That just
And that's amazing too, because it was COVID.
That's
And
right.
people still came
They was
out.
ready to get out.
Exactly. Yeah, they were. They were definitely ready to get out. And you know what I'm
saying?
saying? They're big fans of you too as well. So it was good that they was able to come out, and that was one of the events that stood out for you.
Oh yeah.
For sure, man. All right, who are some of the races that you look forward to racing against this weekend?
Man, some of the races that's coming in, like I said, Ricky Stanbro, DJ McCain, Tony Bynes.
I remember you saying something about
Look-
Mike Hill.
Mike Hill.
Yep. Salty B.
Yeah, that's Ricky.
For sure.
Lil Rel,
Okay.
Justin Millhouse,
For sure.
Dotson, those guys, all those guys gonna be on the prop, man. Like I said, man, it's people from all over that's going.
And you know what I like about that? You got the older crowd, and then you got the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? And you in between, and you trying to connect that bridge. And so some of these people that's older and younger, that's gonna be out there, and you looking forward to racing some of these good competition, good competitors.
But some of the young ones, they don't like to race me because they think I'm, they think I'm old, man.
Oh, yeah?
I'm just as young as them.
Oh God, yeah, for sure. You good
But
to
they
meet,
say
my
I've
boy.
been around a long time, man, which I have. You know what I mean? I have, but you know what I mean? I can be beat.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I can be beat.
For sure.
You know, most of the time now, I'm going to go out there and cut that W.
Exactly, because that's what you're known for.
Okay.
You know what? I want to talk a little bit about where you started from. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to shout out Tony Bynes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, because I love to give people their flowers as well and show their humble beginnings of how they started and where they at now. So I want to talk about a little bit of where you started at when you first started racing and who you was under and with and partner up with.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I say, you know, it started with my daddy, and then he was with Bebe.
Okay.
Like around the year 1996, 97, man, when I was a kid, I never went to school on a Monday because we left on a Thursday or Friday, and man, we didn't get back home till, you know, Sunday night.
Wow.
And so I really never went to school on a Monday. And then they turned over to Tony Bynes.
Okay.
You know, we worked together, me, Tony, and Cowboy. We was a team called Prime Time, and we worked together for a long time, man. We was one of the baddest teams
Wow.
out here in the world.
Wow.
In girls racing.
Wow.
But, you know, we split up, and we still, you know, I mean, we still talking things like that, but we just went our separate ways.
For sure.
Cowboy, he's, you know, we is TMR now.
Okay.
And Tony's still Prime Time, but we still race each other, things like that.
Exactly.
Willie Dog has always been there. Willie Dog still coach me to this day.
Wow.
You know, Willie Dog tell me a lot of things that I do wrong and a lot of things I do right. He's not gonna tell me something that just so that the things that I want to hear.
Yes, sir.
Lil Mo always been there for me. He's a mechanic, and anything that I drive, you know, he's my head mechanic.
Which is very important.
That's number one. Really. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Possum, I don't want to leave out Possum. He was our mechanic as Prime Time, and I can still call Possum to this day. You know, I called him 2 weeks ago, matter of fact, and I needed something done, and he had hurt his back. But he didn't tell me, you know what I mean, as far as, man, I don't want to work, you know what I mean, he just, you know.
He got to it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But also, Mike Hill, that was one of my favorite racers growing up.
Wow.
Mike Hill was running Outlaw 10-5, and I always betted with Mike Hill. That was one of my favorite races. Mike Hill still out here today. Mike Hill will also be there this weekend.
Shout out
And
Mike
like
Hill.
I say, the 484, me and Mike work together as far as coming up with things. We work together, and we try to help others. And Mike, you know what I mean, this 484 deal, that's his deal, and he let me put it on this weekend.
Wow, man. So these are people that's been around your team for years, people you looked up to that's still around you to this day.
Oh, yeah. But I always looked up to Mike, but I'd never been in the ring with Mike.
Oh,
You
yeah?
know, people like, you know, Chris Tootin and people like that, you know, always as a kid, I looked up to them. But then as I started driving and got, you know, cars that I can drive and things like that, that's fast enough to where I can compete with them.
For sure.
I couldn't get in. I never ran them though. I could never get in the ring with them though. But I always wanted to. But like I said, it's a lot of guys out there, man, that I appreciate, look up to, and a lot of guys that still out here racing.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I want to be doing that once I get old. I'm 40 years old now, and like I said, I hope I got about 40 more years in me.
Exactly.
I want to be like John Ford. I seen John Ford's one this weekend. John Ford, I think 72 years old.
Wow.
Man.
Good energy.
Good energy, man. So I want to still be doing the same thing.
And leave a long legacy out here, man.
That's right.
And that's what it's all about. Let's get into the next one. Man, how do you manage to do all this, especially having a family, driving multiple cars and stuff like that, and still, you know what I'm saying, the pressure of winning? Because, you know, grudge racing and shootout racing, it's a lot of competition. Like, how do you manage to handle all that pressure?
Man, understanding is one of them. Understanding is one of them. You gotta have an understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Man, my family, like I said, man, they know this is my passion.
Yeah.
And they know if I want to go racing, don't tell me we got a cookout. I'm missing that cookout. I'm not going to the cookout.
So they support you.
But they support me a lot, you know what I mean? And like I said, man, one of the things I want to put out there, I've been racing a long time.
Yeah.
I have events, I travel, and all of that. My daddy, my brothers, my sister, my kids, even my grandkids. You know, they come to the racetrack.
For sure.
But one person that only been to the racetrack one time, who you think that is? Out of all the times that I've been racing, who is this one person that only been to the track with me one time?
Your mom?
Man, my mom been to the track one time, man. She
I had
been
a
to the track
feeling.
one time, man.
Wow.
You know, but she had a good time when she came.
She don't like all that loud noise,
No,
man.
man. But also she don't like, you know, I done had accidents as well. You know what I mean? So, you know, I got, by my mom, I got 2 brothers.
Okay.
So she know if the phone rang at 2, 3 in the morning,
Know what I mean?
I'm the first person gonna pop up mine because my other brothers ain't nothing like me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for sure, yeah.
You know, if I'm going racing, you know what I mean, she just, you know what I mean, she just hope if the phone rang, it ain't nothing about
Exactly.
something like that.
Facts.
She just can't see me going down the track like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that too.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
For
yeah.
sure. So Mom Deuce ain't been there yet, but she
One time, no, she been
She
there one
been
time.
one time.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think it was 2 years ago.
Okay, I
That
was about to
her
ask you.
first time,
Okay.
2 years ago.
And you won?
Yeah, I won. Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
won.
Yes, sir. You know you gotta rep
But-
Mom Deuce.
But her and my granddad, they do follow me on Facebook. You know,
Okay,
so
yeah,
they
yeah,
see
yeah, they
what
keep
I'm
it up.
doing. But as far as being there in person, you know what I mean, she just don't like to be there in person.
For
But
sure.
Everybody else,
They there supporting.
they right in my shadow.
Wow, man. And see, that's big for your family to support you because that's the main thing whenever you chasing after a dream or whatever your career, you need your family to uphold you. And because there's a lot of stress out there.
Oh yeah, it is, man. Like I said, me as being, I don't own the cars, but I try to keep them. I upkeep them and try to, you know, let them know what needs to be done and things like that. So like I treat them as they mine.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I spend my money, but they spend most of the money on their cars. But like trying to get there and things like that, I spend my money. But that's big, man, and I appreciate them. A lot of people don't understand like what that does to me.
Yes,
but
sir.
for you to spend the money that I know it costs in these cars, and for you to trust me with your car,
Yes, sir.
man, that's big.
I'm telling you.
that means a lot. That's big, and like I said, man, I appreciate all them guys that put trust in me.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know, like they go off of my word. We
Facts.
as a team, but like they just give me the authority to do pretty much anything that me and the team want to do. But like I don't have to call and ask them anything. But like I said, man, that's big.
Wow.
Man. You know what I mean? That's
They
big.
trust you and they believe in you, you know what I'm
That-
saying? So it takes teamwork and a partnership to do that, man. So shout out to your team and
Oh, yeah.
everything like that. I want to talk about Keisha a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Your car is very popular and very like, you know what I'm saying, known for winning. How much do that car mean to you, man? And how long have you been racing with Keisha?
Well, first Keisha, I'm just a driver.
Okay,
Keisha.
okay.
Yeah, I'm just a driver, Keisha. But Jeff Tripp owns Keisha.
Shout out Jeff Tripp.
But you know, I told you I'm gonna get buried in Keisha. Yeah, I'll get buried. But like I said, you know, that's been one of my favorite. You know, Keisha, that's one of my favorite. That car there is just something about it. I've been around racing a long time, and that particular car is just a fan favorite. You know, we take that car, man, people want to take pictures with it and things like that. It's just a fan favorite car. A lot of cars, you know, things wear off.
Yeah.
And that car been around for about 4 years now, and it just seemed like it got the same momentum, the
Wow.
same hype behind it as when it first came out.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But that car meant a lot to me, as well as others. But you know, you got your picks.
Exactly.
But that's one of my picks, right?
Yeah, Keisha.
But yeah, Keisha's my pick. Oh yeah.
So how many cars do you drive though?
Actually, I drive probably about 10 cars.
Wow. So when you say you drive 10 cars, you only drive one car per race?
No, I have had like 5 or 6 cars at one race.
Wow. That's amazing. So like all these cars, these different owners and stuff like that?
They different owners. You know, they might own 2 or 3 of them. You know, but they owned by different people.
Okay, because I always wanted to learn and, you know what I'm saying, learn the ins and outs of that racing and who own it and who's the drivers, because it's teamwork, you know what I'm saying,
yeah.
it's levels to it and stuff like that. So I love how you talk about Keisha and how she been holding you down for the
yeah.
last 3 or 4
Oh
years.
yeah, she did that.
As y'all can see, you got
And hopefully she holds us down this week.
Oh yeah, facts.
Yeah,
Yes,
hopefully
sir.
she
And,
holds us down
and let's
this
segue
weekend.
into my next one. We're gonna talk about No Medicine a little bit, man, and you know, Keisha gonna be out there and some of the best races and stuff like that, man. So how much it mean to you to have this 8th annual No Medicine event down there in Neeson, South Carolina?
Man, a lot of it's really hard to explain, man. Like I get chills sometimes once I look at Facebook, once I see everybody sharing it. Man, I like for people to come together. You know what I mean? And that means a lot as far as the support that you get from all around the world.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And it's you know, it's no I don't see color, and it's no, I mean, it's everybody that's gonna be out there. You know, so Like it's amazing, man. It's hard to explain like the feeling that I get behind a good event, and once I know everybody coming in, and I know, you know what I mean, like as far as the time that we're gonna have, man, it just I can't really explain.
It's amazing. Yeah,
it is amazing. Like I said, man, it leaves you speechless. Man.
For sure, man.
You know, a lot of people. One thing I want to say, a lot of people look at like how many spectators might come in and look at the money side of it, you know. But a lot of people don't know behind the scenes and stuff like what you do coming up to an event like this right here. You know, like it's sleepless nights. You know, they already say I don't sleep. You know what I mean? But when they come up to a race like this, I really don't sleep. But I do what it takes, and the team, you know what I mean, they step in and help and do what's needed and all of that. So like it's not all, you know what I mean, put together just by me.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a team.
It's a whole unit, yes sir. And another thing I like about you too, what we talked about before we came on here, is about you like the kids and the fans. You know what I'm saying? You want to get their point of view of how they like the races and stuff like that. So I love the way you you know what I'm saying, get back to the kids and stuff like that. You do it for the kids.
Oh yeah.
And so I want to segue into my next one, fatherhood. How does it feel to be a father, a grandfather in today's time, and knowing that you got people looking up to you?
Man, being a grandfather, when I first got that news, like that was just something I didn't want to hear because my daughter, she was still young and still in school.
Yes, sir.
But at the end of the day, if, you know, that's God's, you know what I mean, that's something I had to accept.
Yes, sir.
You know, I was in school when I had my first child, and I finished school, got my diploma, and it's the same as my baby mom. She finished school too.
For sure.
So, you know, my grandchild, that just changed my whole outlook on a lot of things, man. Because, like I said, that's like my child.
Yeah, it make life more precious.
And since day one, I always video her on the phone, and to this day, she don't pretty much go a day without video calling me. So, like, man, that's just something that I can't really explain, man.
For sure.
Like I said, it's a feeling. It's
Yes,
a good
sir.
feeling.
Yes,
but,
sir.
you know, if it does happen, like I said, man, you just got to be there for you. You just got to be there.
That's all you got to do, man.
That's-
Pray and look to God for the answers.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's good that you're able to look back and see your grandkids and your kids looking up to you and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. But one thing I would give props to my daughter, like as far as having kids, you know, every time I seen my grandchild, she always got her hair done. She always dressed. They dress alike.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And the father is there too.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, that's major.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean? That's
That's
major.
big.
And when they come around me and I see that, I don't tell them that. You know what I mean? But like I said, I look at that.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm a raised saying if I see
Yes,
a hair
sir.
need done and things like that. Now I also got a grand boy too.
Okay.
So I got 2 grandkids. And like I said, now I really was mad about this one. The second one, because she should have learned from how I got on my first daughter.
For sure.
As far as, you know, it happened, but that ain't something that, you know, I want y'all to finish school and go to college and finish college and things like that, then have a child. But like I said, it's, you know, they here now, so, you know, I'm gonna treat them like they mine.
Yes, sir. And just go with the flow and thank God that you're blessed with it.
Oh yeah.
Another thing I want to talk about too. Which daughter was that won the junior?
That's my baby girl.
That's the baby girl.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit and how much that meant to you. And was that one of your best moments in racing?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, that feeling right there, that was a feeling right there. Because for one, Russell Miller, he was the owner of Darlington Dragway at that time. His daughter, they traveled, and she was actually doing junior dragster races.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter just like, it was just, remember you asked me earlier about after, you know, being an athlete.
Yeah.
It's just in her. So what I mean by that is my daughter, I put her in there, and whatever I told her to do, she
went with it.
She went with it. And you know, upcoming to that race, I took her downtown. The Leo Produce, I want to thank Leo Produce. You know, he stood behind us. That was actually his car that we used to race with, and it was at one of Mike Hill's event. Everybody doubted Kayla. It was some boys there, some girls there, but Kayla actually, I think she beat 2 people. But the finals, everybody was going with the other.
Wow.
Because she had more experience.
Yeah.
She had more experience, but I had faith.
For sure.
And I knew what Kayla can do.
She was the underdog.
Oh yeah, she was the underdog,
Facts.
but came out on top.
Wow.
And man, when that light came on, man, it's a video out there. And when that light came on, man, that was one of the best feelings, better than when I actually cut the light on.
Wow. And they say that's what happens to when you see your kids do the same thing or accomplish more.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna mean more
Oh, yeah.
when they win than you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Kayla.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, was she like you and your pops? Was she with you early on
Oh yeah,
as a
she
kid,
was.
baby?
Oh yeah, Kayla
Yeah.
was always with me.
Did you know she
like-
was going?
Oh yeah, I seen it in her. You know what I mean? That's just like my sister. You know, my sister now. You know, she'll miss school to
Oh,
go
yeah?
to the track with me or go to go to the track.
Wow,
with me.
that's what's up.
Oh yeah.
But it's back to what you said, family. It takes a family to do this thing, man, and I'm glad No Medicine is coming around, man. And so, is it anything else that you want to talk about, as far as like the No Medicine event that's coming up Friday and Saturday, the grudge races and the shootouts and things like that?
Oh yeah. Well, it's going to start tomorrow. As far as it's open test session tomorrow. Gates going to open at 1:00. Track's going to go out at 6 to 12 a.m. Jimmy Bradshaw is going to be prepping. Tommy Cooper going to be prepping. So we're going to have two of the best guys in the world that's going to be out there prepping. It's $250 per car bike. Spectators are welcome. It's $20. And like I said, the concession stand will be open, and that's Thursday. So you can come out there tomorrow, get your testing in. We also have a shootout Friday that's going to be off the trailer. So you guys that's in that shootout Friday, you know you got to come off the trailer. So if you want to get in there tomorrow, get you some shakedowns, tomorrow's the day to do it. Friday, the gate's going to open at 1:00. Track's going to go out at 6. We're going to have a tech man there named Dennis. I want to thank them guys too for being a tech man and coming on board at No Medication. So if you plan on being in the shootout, you got to get tech by Dennis. That's before you enter the shootout. The 28 275 extreme shootout, it's going to be $10,000, $200 to enter. You give your $200 to Willie Dog. Willie Dog's going to be in charge of all the shootouts. So when you get there, drivers meeting, you give your money to Dog. Minor league shootout, that's going to be the off the trailer shootout. That's $10,000. That shootout's going to start probably by 8:00. And we also got an overdrive shootout going on Friday.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what kind of car you drive, but if you drive a Mercedes, BMW, you got overdrive, you can get in that shootout.
Okay, that's hard.
Yeah, you get in that shootout. It's $3,000 in that shootout. We also got a lot of grudges locked in for Friday night. We got Sweetness locked in with Bigfoot. We got Tony Bynes locked in with Heaven. I forgot the Mustang name, but Tony Bynes locked in. We got Headlock locked in. It's a lot of races. We got Black Gold versus Salty B locked in. It's a lot of races locked in. Like I said, man, y'all can go to my page. I share them all on my page. But I want to tell y'all this. The races are locked in, but y'all know how that go now. I mean, they locked in, but they might not happen depending on if something happened to the car. So I just want to put that out there. Of course, y'all know that, but I just want to put that out there as a disclaimer.
I got a question then. So, okay, say somebody locked in with a racer, but something happened to the racer, like he gets sick or anything. What happened to his competitor? Do he get the?
It all depends. That's just like Pro Stock Gordo. I want to send prayers out to him. He had an accident yesterday. He's from up north.
Okay.
He was locked in to come down, and he had a bad accident. He's in the hospital. He's in the hospital now. So his opponent, I don't think his opponent is going to take his punk out money.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because of the tragedy that
Yeah,
happened
for
to
sure.
him.
Yeah.
So, like I said, to answer your question, like I said, on a situation like that, I don't think they're going to take his punk out
Yeah,
money.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry to cut you off too.
But no, you good. So leading into Saturday, the gate's going to open at 12. Track's going to go out at 6:00. We only got 2 shootouts Saturday, but they're 2 big shootouts. It's a 484 points race. Appreciate Mike Hill. That's a part of that deal. Appreciate Mike Hill for letting me put that 484 shootout on at No Medication. You have to get teched in. Tech is going to start at 2:00 Saturday. So you guys at the 484, y'all already know the procedure as far as getting teched in. So tech is going to start 2:00. We're going to go around and get every car checked for the shootout. That's $10,000 shootout, the 484 shootout. We also got an all glass shootout paying $5,000. The rules are on the flyer. So y'all go to my page and check out the flyer. All the rules for all the shootouts are on the flyer.
For sure.
We also got grudges locked in Saturday as well.
Okay.
Testing is going to be limited. So y'all know if you're waiting in line, we're gonna get what's priority first, which is shootouts and grudge race. So I'm letting y'all know ahead of time. As far as if you come in to test, this ain't really the event to come test. This is the event to come race at. That's right. So
for sure.
like I said, man, it's
big.
Oh yeah, and we got good weather.
And that's all that matters. Like you said, that's big in racing.
Oh yeah.
So man, y'all get out there, man. No medication this weekend, man. And one more question I want to go over too before I get you out of here. Cause I heard a lot of street outlaws talk and stuff like that, man. Are you gonna be doing any business with them in the future, like partnership or anything, or racing against them or anything like that?
Oh yeah, well, Jay Bodie.
Okay.
Props out to Jay Bodie.
Yep.
You know, Jay Bodie done invited me out to Street Outlaws. I done been out to LA, Cali with him. Man, Jay showed me a good time. Man, me and Jay connected, and Jay still contact me to this day. Matter of fact, he'll probably call him 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You know, but we keep in contact. And Jay showed me a whole different outlook on a lot of things as far as what I'm doing in racing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want to appreciate Jay. Jay hooked me up with Brent at Nitrous Outlet. Brent sent us some Nitrous bottles, but all that came through Jay Bodie, Street Outlaw Jay. And like I said, Jay, he had to have back surgery this year, so he's actually not on Street Outlaws this year, but he's still involved with it. But like I said, I appreciate Jay Bodie and Jay Bodie Jr.
For sure. And it's good to find people like that that connect you with different people and stuff like that and teach you the ins and outs of more racing and stuff. So, man, I appreciate you, man, coming on Straight Facts Podcast, man. So, y'all definitely come out there, man. No medication this Friday and Saturday. It's going to be a huge event with my guy Trigger, man, former National Grudge Racer of the Year. Shout out to Hakima, man, for connecting us together, man. And this does it for episode 36 with my guy Trigger, man. Huge race. Any more things you want to cover before we get out of here?
Oh, yeah, man. If y'all don't know, this week, No Medication 8. Y'all get there early. Y'all know how the line's gonna be. Don't call me because I ain't gonna have my phone on me. So y'all get there early. I'm telling y'all what time the gates open. So get there early and get situated and come out and have some fun. Y'all leave the drama at home. Yeah. We got officers out there. If you get out of line, I'm gonna lock you up.
Facts.
Nothing to talk about. We come out there to have a good time. I want to appreciate everybody that's been sharing the flyer and make all the racers, all the fans. Everybody that made this possible, because without y'all, it won't be no medication.
Exactly.
Like I said, I want to thank Hakima for putting this together. My publicist, she give me hell, but she does what it takes to put things together.
Yes.
And like I said, man, I want to appreciate the team as well. So we coming out there this week. We're gonna have a good time, and I want to thank South Carolina Motorplex, all the staff. They stand behind me 100%. I want to thank them again, man, for getting everything ready. The owners, JP and Candace, the manager, Crystal, Prep Man, Tommy. I want to thank all of them because, like I said, man, they send me pictures all day about how they getting ready. For sure. Cutting grass, cleaning out the porta potty. They send every move they make. They send it to them, but it feels good though. For sure, it feels good to let you know to see that they getting prepared and doing what it takes for this event to happen.
Facts, man, and that's good too. So y'all might see CYTV out there this weekend. And while y'all out there telling them lies, man, we coming with straight facts with my guy Trigger, man. I see y'all next week for episode 37. I'm out of here. Let's go. Appreciate you, man. Oh, yeah. That was a good one. Yes, sir.
Shout out to CYTV.
Yes, sir. You know we out here, man. That was a good game, though.
Shout out CYTV.
Yes, sir. You know we out here.
Subscribe.